Welcome everyone to another edition of the Railroad Retirement Whiteboard. My name is John McNamara with Highball Advisors, and today's topic, it's kind of unique, it's kind of a niche type topic, is railroad retirement reductions for non-covered pensions. What does that all mean? So basically, this is going to affect people who have worked in positions that haven't paid into railroad retirement or haven't paid into Social Security. Right, so the way I look at it is people that have worked for federal, state, or local governments, police officers, that type of thing. Excludes the military or people who have worked in the VA, okay? Or you've worked for a nonprofit and they never paid into Social Security. That would be a non-covered position, which would might have a non-covered pension. And then if you worked for a foreign government or a foreign employer, so in my case, I worked 2 years over in Ireland, right, for an employer over in Ireland, and that was a non-covered position. All right, so that's what non-covered means, right? So basically, you haven't paid into Social Security or railroad retirement. So let's just take a step back and look at the Railroad Retirement Annuity and how this affects it, right? So Railroad Retirement Annuity made up of Tier 1, Tier 2. Tier 2 is unaffected by any reductions on the non-covered pensions, right? So we'll drop that off, okay? Tier 1 is where the reduction could possibly come into play, right? So Tier 1, Social Security, same conversation. So let's look at Tier 1, and you can see this math again on my video, Understanding Tier 1 Benefits on the YouTube channel. Check that out. So average index monthly earnings, the top 35 years, that gives you what your monthly payment would be for Tier 1, right? So your Tier 1 monthly would be 90% of AIM for the first $926 plus 32% between $926 and $55.83 and 15% over $55.83. So that gives you what your monthly Tier 1 benefit is. Going through that very fast, like I said, you can check that on Tier 1. So that's now here comes the important part when it comes to non-covered pensions, right? So let's say you've done 20 years in the railroad and 20 years for the federal government, right? So you're going to have a reduction there, right? So how they come up with the reduction? So it's years of service, and it all comes off of this number here. This is the important number, 90%, right? So if you've done 30 years, okay, in the railroad, 90%. So there's no reduction, okay? So 30 years equals no reduction. That's important. And then every year below 30 is going to knock off 5%. So 85% for 29 years. This multiplier becomes 85%, and it goes all the way down 5% every year, and then stops at 20 years at 40%. So it can never go below 40%. Is the bottom number here. So if it's 15 years, this would still be 40%. So that's where the that's where the reduction comes in on your Tier 1. So let's just go through an example and see if this helps you out here. So you have a railroader. He's done 20 years in the railroad and 20 years, like I said, in the federal government. 67 years old. He's going to retire. So he has a non-covered pension of $3,000 a month, and theoretically, he should have a Tier 1 benefit of $3,000 a month also. Okay. However, because he did the 20 years in a non-covered position, there's going to be a reduction on his Tier 1. So let's work through the math on this. So 20 years, we know 20 is 40%. So it's going to be 40% times the $926, the first $926 is $371, and then 32% times the balance here is $2,074, is $664. So his adjusted Tier 1 is going to be $1,035. That's what he'll get at full retirement age at 67. On the Tier 1. So he will get his pension of $3,000, his non-covered pension of $3,000 a month, but from the Railroad Retirement Board on the Tier 1, he will get $1,035 a month. Okay, Tier 2, is not affected. So whatever his tier 2 calculation would be, that's what he would get on that. So now also, which is interesting, is just on the spouse, right? So if the spouse is also collecting the pension there, a spousal benefit part of the pension, her tier 1, her spousal benefit on tier 1 will be deducted up by 2/3 of what she is receiving on her pension. So yeah, it gets a little bit significant, but you have to kind of do the math on that. So like I said, it's kind of niche for those people that have worked in the non-covered positions, but it's very important to sit down and figure out this math because you got to make that retirement budget, right? Very important to plan, you know, what kind of resources am I going to have in retirement? And those, you know, those are the things that help you out at Highball Advisors. We figure out what these numbers look like and how does that fit your budget and lifestyle in retirement. So, you know, feel free to reach out and give me a call. In the meantime, check out my YouTube channel, putting up a lot of videos. I'm also putting up a Q&A every day, 1 to 2 minute Q&As. So send in your questions and I'll do a video on it and answer that. In the meantime, stay safe, stay on track, and take care. So long, everybody. Bye.